Okay, fans, briefly for the Western Conference, I have the Spurs versus the Grizzlies. This is going to be tough because of the fact of Manu Ginobili's right hand actually, hurt that. So I'm thinking this is not going to be as easy a series as it might have been for the Spurs if he was more healthy. So I'm going to pick the Spurs to win that series in 7. You have to also look at the front court of Marc Gasol and also Zach Randolph. That would be really imposing front line for the Spurs. Their front line is bigger than the Spurs front line. So I think that's going to be a really good, interesting series. Now we also got the Nuggets and Thunder, which I think is going to be the series of the whole playoffs so far. We got a Thunder team that's really, really talented and a Nuggets team that's really, really deep. Now with that, I like deep over talent because you could throw so much players that's really good at your core superstars, well, core stars, what they are right now in the Thunder. So with that said, I like the fact that I actually like the Nuggets winning this in 6. That might surprise a few people, but the Nuggets, I believe, is going to win the Thunder in 6. When you could throw out the Wilson Chandlers, the Dylan Gallinari's, the Kenyon Martins, the Chris Hendersons, the Aaron Follows, the Raymond Feltons, Tyler Lawsons, the J.R. Smith, who I think is their team's best player and one of their main go-to guys, which is hard to say. If you could throw that much people against Russell Westbrook, who is a top 10 NBA player, and as a point guard, and Kevin Durant, who's one of the elite scorers in the league, that's a lot of players from the Nuggets that they could throw at the Thunder. So that's why I really, really like the Nuggets in this matchup. And the fact that Thunder last year was one of the best defensive teams, and this year they're in the middle of the pack. So that is going to be their drop-off. Scott Brooks have to get them playing defense if they really want to win this series. Now, for the Lakers and Hornets, let's go on to the next series. The Lakers can win that 4. I'll let you explain about that. And finally, the Portland Trail Blazers versus Dallas Mavericks. This is also going to be another interesting series. But ever since Portland made that trade to get Gerald Wallace, I really believe that Portland is going to actually beat the Mavericks in 6. Even though the Mavericks pick up Tyson Chandler, who is a very good defensive center and that can finish around the hoop. That is this series right now with the Portland Trail Blazers. That's the team that they should not want to have to face in the first round because Portland could throw, because they have pretty much their best players is LaMarcus Aldridge, and he's playing really, really well. So with that said, LaMarcus Aldridge, you either a 50% Brandon Roy come off the bench, and you also have Gerald Wallace coming off the bench, but you got Wesley Matthews, who's one of the top 5 3-point shooters in the league. You have to put all that in account, and they also have a veteran point guard and Andre Miller to help beat the Mavericks, I really feel, because he actually dropped 50 points against the Mavericks backcourt himself. So this is why it seems like people's going to probably lean towards the Mavs in 7 or at 6, but really to me Portland has this series because their talent versus the Mavs talent to me is better. And one of the reasons why I'm not really choosing the Mavs is because of Caron Butler's injury. If Caron Butler was playing, it would be a totally different story. You have a guy that could play the 2 or the 3 against the Portland Trail Blazers that can match up against Gerald Wallace. But that's not the case. So with the Mavericks short backcourt, yeah, they're short. JJ Barea is about 5'9", Jason Terry is 6'1". Jason Kidd is 6'4". That's a good size, but at his age, he has lost a step or two against Portland's backcourt, which could go with Andre Miller, Rudy Fernandez, that is 6'6", 6'7". Wesley Matthews is 6'8". He could play a 2 guard, and also Nicholas Batum, who is about 6'9". So when you look at the matchup from head to toe, you have to really, really like the Portland Trail Blazers. Alright, so you have the Spurs versus the Nuggets. I like the Nuggets beating the Spurs because, like I said, they're depth and they're actually more talented than the Spurs. And with that said, with the Nuggets' core depth, they could really wear down the Spurs. They're not as young as they used to be. So the Nuggets could throw an abundance of players at the Nuggets. Not the Nuggets, the Spurs core players and really wear them out. And now for that, we have the Lakers against Portland. That's going to be a really tough series for the Portland Trail Blazers because the Lakers' size will show its face and it really will dominate them inside. And with that said, I believe the Lakers will win that pretty much in 6. And For the conference finals, you got the Nuggets and the Lakers. That sounds very familiar back in the 2009 playoffs when Carmelo Anthony and Chauncey Billups was on that team. With that lineup, the Lakers will have a tough time against the Nuggets. But I'm not going as far as saying that the Nuggets will beat the Lakers. I'm not going to say that at all. The Lakers' front court will really be the difference in this series. And that's part of the reasons why the Lakers chose not to make that trade for Carmelo Anthony. As dynamic of a scorer Carmelo Anthony is, you cannot trade away a 7'1" centerpiece center that they have that is only 23 years old. You trade away a center like that for another scorer to put in the mix of with Paul Gasol and Kobe Bryant and Ron Artest with Lamar Odom also plays the forward spot. Now you have a really, really deep forwards, but you are really lacking size. That's going to force Lamar Odom to play the 4 or 5 position, and also have Paul Gasol playing strictly the 5. That's why they would never even consider that deal. No disrespect to Carmelo Anthony, he's a good player. Thanks for watching for today's show, and I really hope that you guys gain a perspective of what I had to tell you guys about the NBA playoffs. Hopefully we have an enjoyable playoffs, and let's see what happens. Thanks again. And also, you can also follow me on Twitter at Duke of NBA. So hit me up, tweet me, comments, anything. I like to hear people's comments and see where we can go from there. All right, take care, enjoy the playoffs.